You're listening to the Stephen A. Smith Show podcast.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the latest edition of the Stephen A. Smith Show, coming at you as I love to do every weekday over the airwaves of ESPN Radio, 250-plus markets across the United States of America, plus ESPN Radio on Sirius XM, Channel 80. The number to call up, as always, is 888-SAY-ESPN. That's 888-729-3776. You know when something's so obvious, they call it a no-brainer. Well, here's a big one. Barbasol is finally making razors. Introducing the Barbasol Ultra 6 Plus. It's got 6 ultra-thin blades for a close, comfortable shave. You can go to Barbasol.com right now and save some money. That's a no-brainer, too. Time for Straight Talk, brought to you by Straight Talk Wireless, best phones, best networks, no contracts, lots of stuff to get into today. It's a wonderful Monday for sports. Obviously, this is the week that the NFL draft is scheduled to take place Thursday night, Dallas, Texas. I don't see any need for me to go down there personally. Why should I subject myself to the disgusting tendencies of having to be around Dallas Cowboy fans with their nauseating, delusional self, making me want to vomit? Why bother? Why bother with that when I can ignore them, for crying out loud? Don't need to be around them. It's not like they have any significance in this draft. They got the 19th pick in the first round. Now, they don't have much significance. Why should I want to be around those Dallas Cowboy fans? Why should I want to subject myself to that? As great of a city as Dallas is, I don't know if I want to do that. So I don't know if I'm going to be there at the NFL draft. I'm just not sure. I do know that I'm interested in this draft like never before. I don't know what Cleveland's going to do. I don't know what the Giants are going to do. I think I know what the Jets are going to do, but it could all be a decoy. I don't know what the Cleveland Browns are going to do with the 4th pick, because we don't know what they're going to do with the 1st pick, and we don't know what's going to happen with the 2 and 3 picks. And then, of course, there's Denver at number 5, which John Elway has let the world know, excuse me, I'm open for business. Make me a damn good offer, and I'll trade down. Make me a favor, pretty please, with sugar on top. We'll talk about that and so much more in regards to this week's NFL draft as the show progresses throughout this day with you for the next 2 hours. But the first order of business of the NBA players, we all know what time it is. We all know what time it is. Now, for most of you, what's on your mind is LeBron James, because after all, he's the best player in the world. We have to make sure officially. We have to make sure we put all the superlatives out there, because we certainly can't avoid doing that, because we're talking about LeBron James. So we have to make sure that we dot our I's and cross our T's in mentioning the gifts and the greatness of LeBron James. I mean, after all, his man Rich Paul might be watching, listening. His man Adam Medelson may be listening. Maverick Carter, the great Maverick Carter, the marketing wizard extraordinaire, the marketing arm for LeBron James, he might be listening too. We have to make sure that we cover all our bases. We have to make sure we cover all our bases before we talk about LeBron James, because God forbid, that we give the slightest indication that, oh my Lord, he's not the greatest player in the world. We can't make that mistake. We got to make sure we give the impression that he's the greatest player, he's the greatest father, he's the greatest philanthropist, he's the greatest entrepreneur. We have to make sure we throw out all of these superlatives, okay? So we don't have to hear anything from LeBron James people, because God forbid, we say the slightest thing wrong about LeBron James, Lord knows how we'll be vilified. So we want to make sure we get that out the way. LeBron James is a great husband. I mean, I'm not Savannah, but I mean, one would surmise, as beautiful as she is and as often as she smiles, and she is an absolutely lovely, wonderful, wonderful woman. Let me be very clear in all seriousness. Of all the great things that LeBron James has done, I think the one thing that's never, ever been debated by people who know him, by people who love him, by people who are close to him, that by people who are family members and everybody else, is that obviously was the right call. Spending the rest of your life with her. She is something special. His children, obviously, great kids, which obviously he's a great dad. Matter of fact, I think LeBron James is going to refuse to retire until his son enters the NBA, because his son is that talented. But I never talk about his son, because I can't stand how people try to get into folks' business by talking about their children. I think that's very bad. I will not do that. But I wish his son's nothing but the best. They're wonderful, wonderful kids, I am sure. He's a wonderful dad. We want to make sure we got that out the way. Let's go through a great businessman, great entrepreneur. Did I miss anything? Charitable, philanthropic. We have to remember what he's done for the kids in Akron, and he's got them to, scholarships to Akron University. We got to remember all of that. He's also a producer in Hollywood. He's got 2 homes out there. You understand what I'm saying? Real estate is a good thing for him as well. I mean, hey, did I miss anything? I just want to make sure I didn't miss anything, ladies and gentlemen. I just want to make sure that I covered all bases when it comes to the superlatives surrounding LeBron James. Because God forbid we make the mistake of missing that. I mean, God forbid. We don't want to do that. We don't want to do that. All right. I'm sorry. I forgot the last day. He's the greatest player in the world. He's the greatest player in the world. There's nobody better than LeBron James. He's going to be on the Mount Rushmore of basketball when all is said and done. He's probably the greatest athlete that has ever played the game of basketball. Next to Michael Jordan, he might be, number 2 on Mount Rushmore, even though Kareem Abdul-Jabbar has 6 NBA titles and was a 19-time All-Star and has the one definitive greatest move in the history of basketball, the sky hook, the one unstoppable move. Not to mention the fact that, again, he's the all-time leading scorer in NBA history. But if you want to put LeBron James ahead of him and Bill Russell, who's an 11-time champion, all this stuff, so be it. It's okay. It's okay. It's all right. It's no big deal. Nevertheless, let's make sure we understand something here, okay? LeBron James are all of those things in a bag of chips. LeBron James is special. Series is tied 2-2 now with Indiana because of primarily LeBron James. Even though others stepped up when it counted, bottom line is LeBron James did his thing. All right? Had about 32 and 13 last night. 32-13 and 8, 32-13 and 9, whatever it is. I mean, we're almost numb to the greatness of LeBron James. We sit at the altar of LeBron James. We all know this. We all know this. And so right now you're going to have discussions as to whether or not he's the MVP of the playoffs. And having said all of that, I still tell you that answer is no. Ladies and gentlemen, one of the biggest reasons, if not the biggest reason he's not the MVP of these playoffs is because Anthony Davis is still playing in these playoffs. You know that Anthony Davis that dropped 47 Saturday night in New Orleans against Portland? Yes, he was assisted by the 41 from Drew Holiday. There is no doubt about that. But I'm going to repeat this. Anthony Davis had 47 and 11. Anthony Davis is averaging 33 and 12 on 57% shooting throughout these playoffs. And unlike LeBron James, Anthony Davis went up against a 3 seed. He ain't the 3 seed like Cleveland is. This man, or actually Cleveland was the 4th seed. My apologies. The point is that Anthony Davis is the lower seed. He went up against the 3 seed in the Portland Trail Blazers and destroyed them. And Damian Lillard, a star and a stud. And congratulations on being a new daddy from the other week. He is home because Drew Holiday put handcuffs on that brother. And that's big for me to say because I love me some Damian Lillard. But he ran into somebody that was bigger, that was stronger, that was just as fast, and evidently wanted to put the world on notice himself that he could ball too. And as a result, what you have is a situation where the New Orleans Pelicans are advancing to the Western Conference semifinals, and they're the ones sitting around waiting for the Golden State Warriors to finish handling their business because they already handled theirs with a sweep. Meanwhile, back at the ranch in Cleveland, LeBron James is tied 2-2. LeBron James and the Cleveland Cavaliers are lucky they're not down 3-1. And LeBron James, everybody wants to sit up there and say, he's doing it by himself. Well, guess what? Whose fault is that? I am in no way implying that LeBron James tried to push Kyrie Irving out the door. That was Dan Gilbert. Dan Gilbert is the one that had Kyrie Irving under contract for the next 2 years. Dan Gilbert is the one who knew that and still elected to trade him. He didn't have to do that. Matter of fact, I'm told LeBron James told him not to do it. But ladies and gentlemen, there's a difference. There's a difference between saying to your owner, you cannot trade this guy. He is a superstar. We need him. I need him. I can't win this championship without him. We need to keep Kyrie Irving. Let me talk to him. Let me talk some sense into him. Let's handle whatever dysfunction or dissension that exists between us. I cannot lose this guy. There is a difference between doing that and saying, look, you got him under contract for 2 years. Don't trade him. I'm going to be ready to handle my business no matter who you put on the court with me. It's fine. But you ain't got to trade him. He's under contract for 2 years. What you kowtowing to him for? Hell. Who cares how he feels? Keep him. See the difference? Because from what I'm told, it's the latter, what LeBron James did, not the former. And as a result, because of it, you find yourself in the situation this is. Because does anybody believe, is anybody bold enough and stupid enough to be willing to call up on this show and tell me that this series is 2-2 and is as tight as it is on the court and it with the outcome if Kyrie Irving was still there with LeBron James? Is anybody really willing to say that? Because I'm here to tell you that's false. That is absolutely patently false. False. There is no way in hell that would be the case. Kyrie Irving, if he were in Cleveland with LeBron James, this series would be at least 3-1. Probably Indiana would have got swept, even with Oladipo being the star that he is. But pacifying Kyrie Irving and making him feel better was not a priority for LeBron James. I'm not saying that LeBron James got him traded. I'm not saying that LeBron James did not tell Dan Gilbert not to trade him. I'm not implying anything like that. I'm saying that there is a difference between expressing your love and support for a teammate who's a star in his own right and having a nonchalant approach to whether he stays or goes. There is a difference. And LeBron James showcased that, to my knowledge, when Kyrie Irving was looking to leave Cleveland last summer. That is what I believe to be fact. And so he is where he is. So for those of you who want to sit up there and talk about the greatness of LeBron James, well, who doesn't know that? Nobody ever questioned his greatness. Nobody ever said that LeBron James was anything less than the best. Nobody said that or denied that he was the best player in basketball right now, best player in the world. He's clearly a 3-time champion. But we're going to talk about this year, and we're going to talk about the doldrums he's experiencing and the load that he has to carry, logging 43 minutes last night, leading everybody in playoff minutes tallied. And we want to sweat how LeBron can't catch a break. Well, who did that? Didn't LeBron do that? Didn't he have something to do with that? I think he did. And as a result, you make your bed, you lie in it. Now, it's only a short-term situation because I don't know if y'all have noticed, LeBron James ain't staying in Cleveland. I can't believe he's going to stay in Cleveland after this year. LeBron James not going to want to be a part of all of this. Came to Cleveland, committed to 4 years, did what he came to do, bringing the championship back to the city. That's LeBron. Matter of fact, I think the only thing to dislike about LeBron is that damn Sprite commercial with the face, with the beard and the cap on and he's sitting bobbing back and forth and drinking the soda. I think it's corny as hell. That's the only thing negative I got to say about LeBron James. Other than that, he's the best in the world in a multitude of areas. The iconic NBA brand globally, as far as I'm concerned. What a superstar. He is something special. And I'm going to miss him so much when he's gone. And I'll tell you something else you can't deny appreciating about LeBron James. I don't think y'all appreciate it enough. The way that man has taken care of himself, his body, his conditioning, his commitment to excellence. You don't teach that, ladies and gentlemen. Don't be grateful just for his talent. Be grateful for his commitment to excellence. Understand who he is and what he's all about. And respect that man and understand and appreciate the fact you are going to miss him when he's gone. And why can I bring that up? Because it breaks my heart to bring this up. I can't say the same about Carmelo Anthony. Carmelo Anthony had 14 points last night. Carmelo Anthony hit 6 of his 10 shots. I'm sorry, Saturday night. He hit 6 of his 10 shots. The Utah Jazz are still smoking the Oklahoma City Thunder. For some inexplicable reason, Russell Westbrook ain't shooting in the fourth quarter right now. Billy Donovan can't seem to wrap his hands around what needs to be done and just getting it done. Paul George is middle of the road. He's playing well. He's doing his job, but this is a guy that everybody was dreaming about, fantasizing about, ending up in L.A. And what we're seeing is a star that's a little bit more than just another player, but we still need to see more. And what we're looking for from him, we are not getting. What we're looking for from Russell Westbrook, we're not getting. What we were looking for from Carmelo Anthony, we're reaching the unfortunate conclusion that maybe he just can't do it anymore. At age 33 years of age, with his shot, I have always believed in Carmelo Anthony. Something's missing. I don't know what the hell it is, but he doesn't look great. He just doesn't. And I think part of the reason is physical. How you take care of yourself. Nobody can be LeBron. I get all of that. But with the money these players are making and what they're able to afford, you can look in shape. I don't know what's wrong with Carmelo. I just know that what we're seeing from him is not enough for this team to beat the Utah Jazz in the first round. I don't even want to talk championship. There's nothing about that conversation. There's nothing about that conversation. The way the Oklahoma City Thunder are looking right now, Minnesota would beat them, Houston would beat them, Golden State would beat them, San Antonio would beat them, and Utah is beating them. And don't get me started on what the Pelicans would do to them. This seems to be a different world, a different stratosphere. It's just different, y'all. And somebody's got to say something. I'm still praying that Carmelo Anthony gets it together because I believe in his brother and I want him in a conference finals, if not an NBA finals, with the ball in his hands, able to do something. And I want to know that he could be able to do it. But he has been in the league every bit as long as LeBron James. But he is not nearly the physical specimen that LeBron James is. He's not in the kind of shape that LeBron James is. He's not as effective as an all-around basketball player that LeBron James is. And the things that he's better at, meaning shooting the basketball better than LeBron James, he's not even doing that right now. I'm growing very, very concerned. And I'm starting to believe Utah's going to win this series. 888-SAY-ESPN. It's 888-729-3776. This is what it's come down to. You look at LeBron, you see him, and then you see the difference between him and everybody else, which is one of the things that makes him the greatest player in the world. What about Houston with James Harden? Yeah, he had 29 and 9 the other night, but there were plays that he just looked lost out there. He only shot about 41% from the field. He didn't look like himself. James Harden's only shooting 40% in these playoffs, down from 44.9 in the regular season. He's even dropped from the free throw line. Now, they only lost one game to Minnesota. I predict they're going to win tonight, and then they'll close it out in 5. But my point is, think about what the people say about James Harden. Here's what I need from James Harden. I need James Harden to not slack off. You cannot afford to slack off now if you are James Harden. You cannot do it. You got to go out there and play like you played in game 1 against Minnesota. Period. No excuses. You got to do it because you have earned this MVP. As far as I'm concerned, he is my MVP. So James Harden, if you listening, handle your business. Step it up. Game 2, you was anemic offensively. Game 3, you were subpar even though you finished with 29 points. Get back on track, bro. Don't give them an excuse to cost you this MVP honor. Don't you do it. Handle your business. Handle your business. 888-SAY-ESPN. It's 888-729-3776. And by the way, as a last aside, for me to further irritate people, Ben Simmons is a jump shot away from being LeBron James part 2. And as a result of him, the shooters, the way the Philadelphia 76ers play defense, along with Joel Embiid, I have a proclamation to make. And I will tell you what that is in a few minutes. But the one thing I will tell you right now is, as much of a superstar as I know Ben Simmons is, and as better as I know he is as an all-around player to Donovan Mitchell, I would still give Donovan Mitchell my Rookie of the Year honor. That was Straight Talk Wireless by yours truly, nationwide coverage in America's largest and most dependable 4G LTE networks. Let me ask you a question. When was the last time you checked your credit scores? Know what they are now? not from a year ago with Credit Karma. The best thing about Credit Karma, it's always free and there's no credit card needed. Just go to creditkarma.com and download the Credit Karma app. Learn what affects your scores and what you can do to improve them. Once you know where you stand, Credit Karma helps you figure out your next move. And Credit Karma also offers free credit monitoring. So visit creditkarma.com or download the app now. That's creditkarma.com. That's KARMA.com. You're listening live to Stephen A. on ESPN Radio. Sam Darnold up next.
Craving even more of Stephen A?
Him of all people.
For around-the-clock access to the man?
I'm Stephen A.
You can follow him on Twitter and Instagram at Stephen A. Smith and on Facebook at Stephen A.
By the way, my opening segment was brought to you by Credit Karma. Get your truly free credit scores and free credit monitoring from Credit Karma today. Credit Karma. Get knowing. 888-SAY-ESPN. It's 888-729-3776. I mean, I just think, these are the kind of things that I just think about right now. But before I get to the calls, I want to go back to the NBA in this respect. For weeks, I've been telling you, I think Cleveland's coming out of the East. Because my attitude is, you got to show me that somebody can knock off LeBron for 4 games in a best-of-7 series in the Eastern Conference. I just haven't believed it. Ladies and gentlemen, I've officially changed my mind. It doesn't matter to me if LeBron beats Indiana. It doesn't matter to me if he wins or loses against Toronto. I believe the Philadelphia 76ers are going to the NBA Finals. That's just where I'm at with it. I believe they're going. Philadelphia. It's not because of Ben Simmons, as gifted and great as he is. It's not because of Joel Embiid, the best big man in basketball. That's not why I'm of that mindset. Do you know why I'm thinking like that, ladies and gentlemen? Do you know where my mind's eye is when it pertains to that? Do you know why I feel the way that I feel? Because the 2 things the Philadelphia 76ers do better than most. They have a bevy of 3-point shooters. I mean, signing Redick to a 1-year, $23 million deal doesn't look bad. I didn't think it was bad then. I like J.J. Redick, but it definitely doesn't look bad now. So you got J.J. Redick there. This pickup that Brian Colangelo did of Marco Bellinelli, this dude, he's got heart. He can make big shots. He ain't scared. Ilyasova, you see how he can shoot? Covington can shoot. I mean, this kid Anderson can shoot. Everywhere you turn for the Philadelphia 76ers, they got guys that can shoot. If you take J.J. Redick off the court, everybody is 6'6" and above. And they all want to defend. I mean, I'm not making this up. I am not making this up. I'm hoping that my man Allen Iverson keeps his promise. Spoke to me yesterday, told me he's coming on First Take tomorrow. My show on ESPN. Every weekday, 10 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Pacific. I'm looking forward to my man AI coming on. But I got to tell you, he's been telling me all year, don't sleep on Philly. I'm looking at some of these guys they have. I mean, this is unreal. This is absolutely positively unreal. What I'm witnessing right now, I can't deny it anymore. I just can't. I'm looking at these guys right now. Right now. Listen, I mean... Ladies and gentlemen, Ben Simmons is a rookie. He's averaging 19, 10, and 9. And by 9.8 assists. He's averaging damn near a triple-double in these 4 playoff games against Miami. J.J. Redick is averaging 18 a game. 18 a game. And he's a 3-point shooter, and he's not even hitting 30% of his 3-pointers. He's shooting 45% from the field. Saric are also averaging 18 a game, except he's shooting 44% from 3-point range. Joel Embiid came back for 2 games. He's averaging 18 and a half. He's shooting 37% from 3-point range. Bellinelli is shooting 40% from 3-point range. He's averaging 18 a game. The Philadelphia 76ers have 4 guys averaging 18 a game. Ben Simmons is averaging 19. Ilyasova is averaging 12, and he's shooting 40% from 3-point range. Covington is shooting 39% from 3-point range. They got 5 guys that are shooting good from three-point range, and none of them are J.J. Redick. None of them. Who's their best shooter? Redick. And he's not even shooting 30% from three-point range, and still you got 5 guys on the Sixers shooting from three-point range. And guess what? Bellinelli's the senior citizen. He's a champion with the Spurs. He's 31. Ilyasova's 30. Covington is 27. Embiid is 23. Saric is 23. Redick. I'm sorry, he's really the senior citizen at 33. And Ben Simmons, of course, is 21. Look, man, I didn't even bring up Markelle Fultz. I didn't even bring up T.J. McConnell. This kid, Justin Anderson, don't get no time. I didn't even bring up Rashawn Holmes, the athletic dude that comes off the bench that hasn't played but 4.5 minutes this series. Ladies and gentlemen, Philadelphia 76ers are the team to beat in the Eastern Conference. I can't deny it. I can't deny it. 888-SAY-ESPN. It's 888-729-3776. To the phones we go. Fidel, you're live with Stephen A. on ESPN Radio. Fidel in L.A. Talk to me.
What's up, man? How you doing?
I'm good. Talk to me.
Hey, so I want to make a quick point real quick. When you look at how Oladipo's playing in Indiana now, you look at the reason Kevin Durant left, or perceived reasons as to why he left. You look at the way Paul George is playing in OKC now, and you look at a player like Carmelo Anthony, who was supposed to revitalize his career on this team and become this player that he always should have been. When do we start holding Russell Westbrook accountable for his play? Because, yes, he's he's averaging a triple-double 2 seasons in a row, but it's not translating into wins. And you got a young guy
wait a minute. Don't bore me with your comments. Of course we're blaming Russell Westbrook, too. The man hasn't attempted a shot in the fourth quarter the last 2 games. That's a problem. Mr. Triple-Double, the alpha dog on this squad, the point guard, the leader, he hasn't been aggressive. And on his watch, Ricky Rubio dropped the triple-double. Nobody's letting Russell Westbrook off the hook. Who did that?
I'm not saying that off the hook, but I don't hear much of anybody in the media, including yourself.
Because we don't expect anything. Because we don't expect anything. We haven't been enamored. We've been very disappointed with Oklahoma City all year long. All year long. And we haven't just pointed to Russell Westbrook. We pointed to Melo. We pointed to Paul George to a lesser degree. And we most certainly have pointed to Billy Donovan, who I respect and is a 2-time national champion as a coach, but should be doing a better job with this group. We haven't lamented how Steven Adams hasn't gotten involved enough on a consistent basis. But the reality is that we haven't talked about them much because we don't expect anything. And maybe we should. Maybe we should talk about them a little bit more because I think they're about to lose this series to Utah. They better not lose tonight, and I think they might.
Yeah, no, I expect something of Paul George, honestly. You look at the way he played before, he's a great player. It's just I think there's something to be said about the way players play when they're on the court with Russell Westbrook. And I think
that's a good point.
More attention to that.
It's a good point. Good point. The way, see, that's a very valid point on your part. It ain't just about Russell Westbrook and the way he plays. The way other players play when they're on the court with Russell Westbrook is a very interesting discussion. You're absolutely right about that, Fidel. You're absolutely right. Appreciate the call. 888-SAY-ESPN. It's 888-729-3776. Being a mom is like 1,000 little jobs all wrapped up into one. This Mother's Day, show her your appreciation with 36 sorbet roses for just $36 from 1-800-Flowers.com. To order, go to 1-800-Flowers.com, click the radio icon, and enter code Stephen A. That's STEPHENA.
That's just a sample of what you'll hear on the Stephen A. Smith Show. Weekdays at 1 p.m. Eastern on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.